big.
Oh wow, he's aping me.
So, loading into Bernal right now. And Young, predictions. Who you got? Via KCP, who you got?
This is a tough one. This is a tough one. I think, we haven't really seen these guys play much today, so I think it is a bit tricky. Just going off of past history, I think KCP can lock in when they need to. But Vaia, I think they'd somehow always have some magic in the back pocket. We'll have to see just kind of how things go. And again, also weapons. We're not really sure how these teams are going to be running this. Again, Belize looks like he had the BFR in hand. So likely be seeing a little bit of that. Not sure what we got on the side of KCP. I know Brendy and Llama usually running stuff like
we are going to be seeing the Titan coming out for Llama.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Titan v Titan battle coming out.
Yeah, 9-3R on spawns and the repeater on Brendy. So overall, I'm actually really curious to see for Team Vaia a double SMG gameplay, right? I mean, this is the first time Medium has had an SMG, and being able to actually get an SMG and an SMG in a match together, well, it opens up a very new playstyle that hasn't been accessible in the finals before for teams that want to run HML. Not only that, though, but the heal beam coming out, too, to just keep that BFR player happy. This is going to be some good stuff from Vaia, but KCP starting this engagement, well, all their damage is undone. Belize going to be trying to get that revolver reloaded back up. And KCP, well, they know this is their moment of entry. Get in before that revolver is back. They are going to be able to do just that. And it works out well for them here as, well, they are just running it down into this team. KCP, they are looking strong, Young.
You can see just with the heal beam how long these fights are going, right? DMAT, you're in, you're out, right? We're escaping. Heal beam, these fights, gosh, took about, what, 40 seconds from first bullet to the end there. I mean, it's something we're seeing a lot of teams running heal beam. I think the DMAT really on the back foot here, but again, we'll have to see how much that matters in the grand scheme of things, because the playstyle changes completely, right? Your medium, instead of being up front, really being sometimes the one helping the heavy engage, he's playing back. He's trying to keep the team alive, right? With the heal beam. Jump comes out from Belize, not going to get up there with the gateway. Healed right back up. Sergnal also taking a little bit of damage there. But yeah, we see the heal beam just a lot of work coming out, especially with that buff, 4 extra shells per second or something like that. Putting a lot of work. But here comes Vaia. They want to see what they can do up here. Get this team off the roof. Belize taking on a half again. Heal beam will bring him right back up there. Just kind of posturing. Again, no real urgency from either of these teams to push. They're just going to chill. We'll poke out a little bit. But these are the comps that we've kind of been seeing already. Repeater, we got the BFR, I'm using my words again. Just so much poke.
Really, it comes down to poke versus brawl, right? You got poke where you got the repeater, and you've got the BFR, and you got the 9-3R. That's straight poke. And you got brawl where you do have the BFR. You got 2 SMGs, right? And so if you want that brawl comp to work out, you have to get that opening damage with the BFR, and then you actually have to play on it. Right now, what's happening is Belize is getting some opening damage, but KCP's healing through it, right? And so they're healing through it, and now we're just down to Cavinio. He doesn't have any opportunity to get in because you have to take that brawl really quickly. And if Vaia is not going to be taking that brawl quickly, well, then KCP, all they got to do is just hit that poke. And at the same time, the BFR and the repeater, yeah, they're long-range weapons. They still hit hard up close, right? And a team like KCP, they're signed for a reason. They're signed because they hit their shots, Young. And, well,
one of these days, I too will hit my shots. We'll have a box of weeds with Oscar on the front or something. That we can make that happen. But yeah, KCP is just. I feel like I'll talk about the side of Vaia for a second. Like that really prolonged engagement, right? The box is ticking down. There's a lot of. Well, not a lot of time, rather. There's a lot of room to kind of move around and get to the box, but the time ticking away, obviously not in their favor. I think maybe just not proactive enough up there on the rooftop. Like, it's cool, okay, you get the position, but we're not utilizing the position, right? We're just sitting, we're getting into some poke, but I think for the sake of time, they just couldn't get anything done.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, for both these teams, right, these are both teams that genuinely do deserve to make it through, but it is do or die here. And for KCP, they're sticking to what works. They're sticking to what works well for them, for their playstyle. I like to see spawns on that 9-3R as well, just being able to move around in a way where he's still playing comfortable, right? Still using that H+ infuser, still able to get in there, get involved. Brendy on that heal beam has been working out well, but now Vaia has figured out what they need to do to try and prevent it from mattering, prevent it from making a lot of sense. And here we go, some P90 spray downs working out really well, able to get all of that utility used. That's going to be Vaia winning their first team fight of the game.
Vaia, good stuff there. I think, you know, Sergnal, the way I'm watching a lot of this stuff, he's not even using the repeater, but I was just in a lot of those fights too. Like Brendy, the way he's using it, it's basically like a shotgun, right? Even players like, you know, I'll use Treason and T-Mills, for example, like the big Pike players for NAU, they use that thing like a shotgun up close, right? You just hit fire real fast, you cook them. I think the repeater is kind of also feeling that same situation. You kind of have to up close. You have to hit your shots, but just the damage that the repeater also gives off is really slept on, I think. Everyone's starting to figure out, like, man, this thing actually, at the Pike's not around, this is it. But yeah, good stuff there by Vaia. They held it down. They finally won the fight. They got aggressive. I think that's what we wanted. They finally got aggressive. They started putting in the work, and it worked out.
Oh, yeah. By the way, there's folks there. Yeah, now that these teams getting eliminated, this is, of course, still for seeding, even though it is lower bracket. Still top 8 come through for tomorrow. My bad. Still, it is going to be good looks that KCP wants to stay as a signed org for Vaia as well. You know, Belize, Sergnal, Caffeinio, all players with storied histories in the finals. Well, this is the season to make their mark. And as they start off this cash out well underway, we do end up seeing that early damage start to, well, make a few questionable moves. No, nobody really knows where they want to go in this situation here, but KCP, they know that they have to go in an area where that brawl is not going to hit them as hard. But Vaia, they chase down the way that matters, just down to Brendy, hitting those shots. It's going to be down to the medium versus medium combat. Now, getting Llama back up. Sergnal has to match, gets the same. There we go. Rez going to come to fruition now, but P90 up close and personal. Winch brings it even closer. Not really what you want to do in that situation, but now Brendy trying to stay alive. Belize gets the final shot, and Vaia looks good on this cash out where they can take it close, take it personal, and make Brawl work out well.
Such a close fight there, I think, between both teams. Just the damage and the reses. I think something to think about, too. We were talking about it earlier. The winch, the cooldown is so long now compared to what it was that, again, you open with the winch maybe, but then it's just it's your gun skill, right? People aren't running the DMAS. They're not seeing all these holes in all the walls. People aren't really escaping nearly as much. So you really got to play, okay, we're going to play the building. We're going to play just our gun skill here. You got to start winning your fights. But here comes the potential steal. KCP, can they get it done? The goose call does come out, but the health bars on Vaia are so low. That doesn't matter. Brendy goes down to Sergnal. Can they turn this around? Llama's the last alive. He won't make it happen. That is Vaia taking home the second box.
Wow. I mean, hey, there is such a good reason for both these teams to be picking both of these loadouts, right? I mean, what we've been talking about all game is that neither of these is inherently better than the other, but you just have to put yourself in the situation to make it work. And for Vaia, that shows good macro control that they were able to get this cash out into a position where those up-close SMGs are going to hit the way that they should. And sort of preventing, more than that, just preventing KCP from really getting the most out of their poke damage. But now the score is sort of flipped, where for Vaia, they just have to make sure that they get this into the box that's going to work out best for them. And KCP, they just need to get into the box first, no matter what. See what happens now.
Yeah, first team to get this one. Well, I guess the next team really to get this next box will be taking on map number 1. Then poke fight just coming out here. No real direction on what way we want to go just yet. Looking like they're going to go ahead and over to D. Cash out D here. But look, that jump is just so like, can't get over the light dash right now. But hey, if it's in the game, again, who knows what's going to get passed out. They're going to make it work. Police going to hit right up onto the team. Are they where he is? Police, good shots on the Spawn. Spawn's about 150 health. Will get healed back up. That heal being coming in flush there from Brendy. Big RPG, but Sergnal gets taken out by Llama. That BFR taken out just his helper in a second. The winch comes back out from Llama, but it's not enough. Or sorry, from Belize, it's not enough. Llama putting in that damage. And now Caffeinio won't be able to get away. KCP returning back.
I mean, this is one of those situations where you gotta wonder, was Vaia intentionally just plugging that because they thought that they were going to be able to get away with it? I mean, I could tell Cafinio was trying to get into a position to gate the team over, but at some point, you got to understand that you need to sometimes just get that vault as far away as possible to take the fight, right? I mean, here, though, Vaia does have the chance to get another close-range fight that's advantageous, but KCP's holding from height. This is exactly what they want. Instant deletion!
Oh, man.
Instant deletion! He's gone! They have to go and try to get this res, but now KCP, they're in the situation they want to be in, where they can just ape this before it counts. Now the res is going to hit, but immediately one repeater shot to the back. Spinal Tap removes him out, and there we go. Vaia, once again, take it away. That is poke at its best.
The shots, Brendy, great way to open up that fight there, and just the re-engage, or rather just the full engage, not even the re-engage from KCP. Again, these guys, they're aware of how each other plays. They basically, we get one, they immediately ape the rest of them. Easy cleanup, easy pickings. But again, great shots from Llama too. That BFR, you miss a shot, it's pretty punishing. But again, Llama ain't missing.
Oh yeah, here we go. Gateway over. Let's see if it's gonna work out. They need to get up close to personal. Cafinio gets a good spray down early on Brendy. Now, no heal beam gonna be hitting, no H+ gonna be infused, but as that timer ticks down, there's no time left. And KCP, oh, they're gonna win via the time, but Vaia, well, they're going to unfortunately drop map 1 there. A good learning experience for the team, though, to understand what situations that brawl is gonna work out in, and what situations, well, you just get instantly one-tapped. I can't believe we saw that one-tap, though, where, I mean, the BFR, one headshot, all you need to do is stub your toe, and then you're gone. Beautiful gameplay from both teams. KCP, though, showing poke over brawl in the first map.
Yeah, looking at the scoreline, too, or the kills in the combat, pretty close across the board. KCP, Brendy and Llama putting out some good shots there. 7,300 from Llama. That BFR, again, doing a lot of work in these fights. Just the damage at range it puts out is pretty high. I think we've seen that. So just the poke comp at its finest. Again, maps like Bernal, like Monaco. I think we're doing maybe Nozomi next, if I'm remembering this correctly.
Yep. Nozomi Citadel up on the next one. Okay, what do you think of Nozomi Citadel? I mean, I'm thinking Brawl, it has to be better on this map, right? I mean, there are long sight lines and long hallways and corridors, of course, but honestly, this map is defined by those tight quarter buildings, both on the Vaia and CNS side. I think that if both teams stick with it, with what they had the first map, I genuinely think Vaia has a chance here. I mean, it is their own map, Vaia.
True, they are a sponsor of Nozomi. I do think the SA-12 still has its place on this map. On maps like Fortune, on, potentially Bernal, but after that, performance, who knows? Nozomi, these kind of closer, more claustrophobic maps, I think the SA is still, at least in my head, kind of what you want to try and run, right? You play for the wins, you play for the insta-kill. So
we are seeing it. We are seeing the SA.
Yeah, I think, again, P90 on this map also could be good. I think, especially with the Pike nerf, FAMAS, FCAR, P90, a bit of a mix-up on these maps. But yeah, I don't think this is really the poke map where you want to try and start just plinking away at people at range. I think you want to get up and aggressive with them. So again, P90, SA-12, we'll have to see what they're running.
Oh yeah, so we got SA-12 on both teams. We've got 9-3R actually on both teams. Difference here is going to be that Sergnal is going to be committing double dipping into that P90, and look at that, the damage it is chunking out already proving to be well into that effective range. We can see KCP also getting those reses in. See if that P90 is going to be able to finish the job. Unfortunately, running out of bullets before it can. But Elise Cafinio still up there. Cafinio getting a little bit of that H+ to infuse. Elise now resing on to Sergnal. And KCP, we got Brendy and Spawn still alive, backing up, but they don't have access to the trophy. And do what they can to survive in the situation. Try to get Brendy into a spot where he can make use of the FAMAS. Spawns escapes with his life here. And damage, though, Young, not going to be good enough.
Yeah, Vaia holding control, box and run. They're going to go ahead and run it right on over to A. I'm just going to go ahead and coin back in, me back up to this team. But, yeah, we've seen that SA putting in a lot of work there. Ooh, good shots from Cafinio. One of them. Spawn's taking out a very low health there. Brendy Llama going to try and regroup. back into the pool. We see this cash out position a lot. Just go ahead and try and rotate back in the open. Strategic spot. Ooh, the explosion does bring down Certain. I don't think they were able to capitalize on that one on the side of KCP right next to him. A bit of a slow approach for KCP. Again, box in Vaia's control. They're just playing time. I'm not sure if they have a gateway set up somewhere to return to position. But again, on this top floor, not a lot of ways to get around here. We do see Brendy looking like he's kind of snoop around the point. Gonna go ahead and just zip up there. But now we see Brendy actually going for the steal itself. It is going to flip. They're going to be able to stop this, though. Still plenty of time to try and retake spawns. Also, taking out to about 2 bars of health. That one VFR shot doing a lot of work or whatever they're using. Also, down to nothing. Spawns goes down to Cafaneo. Good patience there. He waits for the gateway. Llama takes down Sergal in the background. Police doing what he can. 2v1 on his side. Can he get any support? Here comes the light. It's now down to Llama. No HP. He cannot do it. And that is Vaia winning the fight and the box, potentially with 1 fight to go.
Wow, I mean, they were taking their time there. I was really surprised that they just let KCP come and flip, but they had that down pat. Again, Vaia is a team that plays a lot off of positioning, and especially with that P90 in hand on Signal, you need to make sure that P90 is in the right spot, because out of place up against a FAMAS and 9-3R, you're dead, right? I mean, we're not in instant deletion territory like we were with the carbine and the VFR, but at the same time, positioning is still just as important as ever. And right now, unfortunately, that P90 has positioned itself in a very poor situation. And KCP, they're going to be able to survive in that. Now, Vaia does get the box. They do have the upper hand as far as that is concerned. But KCP, they've shown that with enough brute force and aggression, they're going to be able to win any other team fight they get themselves into.
These up close fights just super close for the most part. Again, health bars super low. Fonz victoriously will just jump off the map. He will get res back up. A bit of an oopsie doopsie on that.
Happens.
So this could actually give Vaia some time to get back into this. Funny enough, the blunder, not really what KC wanted, but you know, it is what it is. Box still in control of the Pioneers. They will go ahead and run it back over to B most likely. But Vaia up 1-0 on this map. I think things that we kind of potentially alluded to early, where again they were so used to using SA-12. Actually, the steal comes out. Good yoink there from Vaia. Gonna be able to take the box for themselves. But here comes the Pioneers. They're gonna follow suit right through that gateway. Glitch to take down the bubble. Police trying to stay alive. Health bar still pretty even across the board here. Shots coming out onto the medium. Now they go down. Brendy gets taken out. Certain also, well, it's down to a 2v1. Spawns, can he get the shots on the Cafaneo? He can. Police down to 1 HP as well. Does he know he's rezzing around the corner? The jump, he'll get him, but now the res Signal gets taken back up the gate. He's going to try and reposition potentially the bait, but the DMAT, or sorry, the BVIP comes out. Spawns doing work in this fight. Does he know Police is there? He does. No shots will connect. Police just going to go ahead and play back. Grab onto the body there, but it's not enough. Spawns with some cookage in that fight.
How?
And the box isn't plugged, so it didn't matter. I don't know.
How? I mean, the fact that they were able to get so many reses there was just insane to me. I mean, Vaia, good job of the survivability front for sure, but I mean, come on. The fact that they just let spawns run away with that is insane. I gotta say, looking to see this next fight, this is a point that has to serve that P90 better, right? But KCP knows that, and they know that all they need to do is make sure that Brendy gets those opening shots. Vaia knows that they just need to prevent that from happening at all to begin with. We're going to see Vaia's slow and timed approach here. They're going to jump into the window here. They're making a lot of noise. Noise that alerts KCP to their presence, and here we go, up on the full height of the rooftop. Shots are going to rain out. Vaia not taking too much damage at the initial section of this engage, but at the same time, enough is enough. And Belize Circle both going to be taken out pretty early on, given that extra damage that, well, Llama's just going to be able to follow up on the SA-1216. So Cafaneo survives, not going to be able to pull off a spawns here, and will just try to stay alive and get a res, or try to stay alive and wait for the courts.
We've learned it's Cafaneo, according to production. So good to know. Learning a little something every day. But
I
yeah,
need a little
KCP,
Cafaneo.
You know, I could use a little caffeine meal in my system. I think I'm a little thinner after this. It's been a long day. But good stuff. I keep saying good stuff. The KCP holding it down. Could go the last box here. Just waiting to see the push from Vaia. They are jumping back in. Not a lot of time left on this cash out. They're going balloons jumping right in there. Red Rail or something will take that down. We need a C4 on the side as KCP takes the box down the floor. Okay, wait, comes back up from spawn. We've seen him cook before. Can he cook again? Still pretty healthy, and the health bars on Orange are pretty low here. Here comes the steal. Are they going to be able to take down that box? Oh, I was going to say, if they don't stop him, they will winch him off the box. That's a good stall from Pioneers. One box here on Nozomi. Can KCP make it 2, or can Vaia bounce back and bring us to map 3?
Wow, I mean, it makes you wonder, right? I mean, the thought process going on, because Signal at any point there could have just healed. Right, I mean, they're running double heal. They have Cafaneo on H+ Infuser. Signal's running heal beam. At any point, they could have just said, Belize, sick it, no matter what, and we're gonna win this. Because even going into that fight without the heal beam in hand, by just means of your heavy sticking that, you know that you're not gonna win the team fight. And I'm very curious to see some of the macro decisions that are happening, because on one hand, Vaia looks like they absolutely have a plan. On the other hand, they look kind of like lost puppies. Glitched TP there means that it is going to be a little bit of a scuffed approach across the gap, but unfortunately, it's going to be even more scuffed when you lose your medium and heavy right in the middle of the fight. Cafaneo once again, last player surviving, and KCP once again, the last team remaining on the map.
Crappy fights here. KCP just got just a little bit ahead in that fight and really ran with it. I think Vaia, a lot of decent openings, but the fights that they were winning were even, I think, even scrappier. It's the ones where they just go in spots where you really wouldn't expect. So I think if it's the speed that Vaia needs to engage with, I'm not really sure. I think there just needs to be a few things we need to figure out. But I think it's also just they're struggling to get to these priority targets on KCP, right? I think in this fight, you really do need to start focusing maybe the medium now, right? It's more of that back to that utility role, especially if they're running heal beams, right? You need to try to get to the medium, to the light, get to the backline if you can. Heavy, he's probably staying up for a long time if he's getting heal beamed and H+. So you gotta start taking out the utility on the team. I say that. Big damage coming out. KCP will drop down. Are they gonna find him? Good glitch. Will stop the heal beams. Signal and Belize a little bit low, but the passive healing does come back in here in just a bit. So back up full here for both teams. Gonna go ahead and make their way up the stairs here, Artie. Let's see what happens.
See what's going to happen now. A full drop, full trap set up there for KCP. And starting in with the Dome Witch engage. That's going to be the lead circle from the map. No defibs. Means Vaia is at a disadvantage. But KCP, they're going to lose their own too. Both teams now going to be trying to see if they can get the res, but unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time. Belize follows that up, and KCP, they're wiped out. A very successful approach here from Vaia after getting almost completely shut out across the gap. I'm really surprised that they were able to win that engagement. And honestly, Young, there might not be enough time for KCP to come back on this next fight.
We might be going to map 3 on this one. Again, signs of life from both teams, but KCP, I thought they had that. They had the positional advantage, to be honest. They held up on top of the stairwell. They kind of had it. But props to Vaia. Just good win. Good finishing.
Yeah.
Kill on the Signal, but I don't think, again, not enough time for anyone. So Vaia going to go ahead and take Nozomi. That evens us up to 1-1 in the series. And we're going to map 3, Artie.
Wow. Had to go to map 3 when it comes down to teams that are up at this level. But I gotta say, what a setup that's going on for every single engagement is entirely based around the 10 to 20 seconds before it, which is, it sounds like, yeah, of course, Artie, that's how macro works. That's how like walking around the map as a team works, right? You're prepping for those fights. But remember that throughout the entirety of season 7, we had so many curveballs of just the prep didn't matter because H+ infuser, or the prep didn't matter because dematerializer, right? Because we're seeing the swap from just medium, right, not on Pike, and medium not on dematerializer, everything feels different as far as pacing is concerned, because you have to now turn corners, right? Because you now have to walk across the map the way that the developers intended. And it's changing these fights in ways that I don't think we could have predicted, right? As far as like when these engage timings are starting, right? Because it makes sense, of course. Oh, yeah, they have to take the stairs to get up to the top because they can't just pad DMAT through 4 floors. But at the same time, I don't know. It just feels so interesting to watch coming off of just the months and months and months of same that we've seen.
It's good to see some stuff switch up. I think with Lee season 7 as an example, like H plus comes in, the heal ball comes in, everyone thinks, wow, this thing is, do we really need to give Light a healing gadget and all this stuff? I think over time, it kind of made the things like the scene and just the meta, like it felt a little bit more healthy, right? It just felt like we needed a bit of a shake up. It's always good every now and then. Is this too soon to shake things up this much? Who knows? you know, a season, maybe not. 3 months, maybe that's enough time. But we're going to map 3 here, loading in as we speak. Both these teams pretty even in terms of just like, play styles. A lot of them just, they wait for the poke, they wait for the damage, then full engage off of that. I think we've seen that time and time again. The drip game on Vaia, hard to beat. The trench coat, the triple white trench coat, it's a look. But what else is a look is Fortune. Back on the Fortune map that we've never seen today. Totally haven't.
Never seen this map ever in my life. And, well, both these teams actually going to be doubling down on what we saw in the last map, where Brendy is on the FAMAS. We do have both lights on the 93R, both heavies on the SA1216. Signal, though, going to be committing to the bit with the P90, seeing if it is going to be viable for competitive play. And for that, I have to give ultimate respect. Now, heal beam as well for Signal, whereas we do have the DMAT for Brendy. So, let's see what's going to happen coming through to this first vault fight. Of course, both teams want to get this plugged over to Hospital if they can. But Young, what have we seen about this top-down approach KCP's got going on?
We saw this a couple times where teams are just going to hold up here. Right, the box isn't on a Hospital side. The cash shots are away.
Oh, they are? Yeah, they are.
Oh, no,
away,
there is one on B. Never mind.
Ha-ha!
My bad. You're right. But just the patient game here, I think, I'm not really sure if this is the move, right? Put the pad down and you put the dash down. There you go. I was going to say, how hard could it be for teams to get across there at this point in time? But here comes the engage. Well, Lee's going a little bit deep there. Does get taken out. Signal does take down them in the meantime. But now, 3v2. Cavaneo also just on 1 bar health, just going to try and chill out. Heal beam. Going to go and keep his team alive. Signal keeping Vaia up. Now, 3v2 in favor of Vaia. Seems like things are swapped around. He's getting sturdy on him. Llama taking down Bradavo. He will get taken down. Brendy takes on Belisis. Now, nobody up on Pioneers. Belisis the only one that goes down. And the end. Viking the plug.
There it is. That little bit of a late plug here is going to be a little bit of a difference maker. Oh, and we've got some spawn block action coming out right now. Both, looks like, both spawns that are close enough to the hospital are going to get blocked out. This is good macro play. That said, though, right, with the P90, they have to know that this engagement is going to happen somewhere that is advantageous for Vaia. And so for KCP, they want to take their time on this approach right now. They want to make sure this is one of those cash outs where they get only one good team fight because they know that taking the time to make sure they get that opening damage is going to matter. So as soon as they get across, they need to make sure that they're getting this fight where they want it. But Vaia knows that. Vaia is going to be playing the kite game.
It's funny seeing how teams have now realized how to cross this gap. I remember when Fortune first came out and teams were starting to get used to it. Everyone's just taking the paths and hoping for the best. But teams got really creative with how we gate pad across. But we say that KCP getting ready to engage here. Shots start ringing out. Brendy and Llama. Llama getting taken out immediately. Gets burned by Police and his team there. H plus going to top Police back off there. Vaia staying healthy in this one. We see Brendy just kind of playing for time here. Not going to try and make too much noise. That DMAT not going to do him any work. He DMATted into a full team. That's not what you want to see as a member of KCP. And that is the first box going over to Vaia.
Yeah, I mean, over here on Hospital, it is very hard to get that early opening damage, but I thought that with Vaia kind of pushing forward for that spawn hold, that maybe KCP would see their opportunity to get that early damage in and capitalize on it, especially after they got that cross and playing on, you could possibly see it, but no, there's no chance to get a pinch. Vaia just played that as safe as possible. Yeah,
real easy, real simple. I think, they They went in, they held the box. I think KCP doing what they could. I think I feel like we're not seeing enough DMAT plays again. Which, it's down to 2 charges, but that doesn't mean you can't drop the box down. You can't really play how you're used to already, right? You might need to be a little bit more creative with it in a sense, but your good shots come out from spawns. He will take a bit of damage on the return, though. Signal believes Cafaneo just chilling, watching the box like a bunch of hawks. Just wait and see who wants to make the first move. Again, cash outs now pretty close. They're kind of playing even. We've seen them do this before. They wait for someone to tap the box. They move to wherever that box is going, to wherever cash out it's going to. So chances are they're just going to wait for KCP to do something.
Yeah, and while they wait for KCP to do something, KCP, well, they're cooking as well. They're hearing footsteps every now and again, trying to pinpoint the location. As you can see, they also set spawns over on the sidelines, and he's luckily going to be able to use the super dash tech to be able to get back to his team in time. But this has now made Vaia privy to the motions of the rest of the team. They just follow him back to the source, and for now, Vaia is waiting for the opportunity to dive in, right? To go ape mode on to KCP, who has a TP in a place where they're able to get out. Now they flip over to the top of the other Hotel building, but Cafaneo ready and waiting on the approach, but it's KCP who apes up first the jump pad. Vaia jumps back. Llama spawns super low already. Spawn's gonna be able to come back up first. Brendy goes out first, traded out immediately by Signal. Elise Cafaneo, 2 up remaining. Llama, 1 HP to Dream. Is he going to be able to pull this one off? I don't think so. Damage out to Beliso, resets the timer. All he has to do is hit 1, but so does Beliso. He does hit that 1. That it is Vaia taking that team fight.
And now we tap the box. Now we can finally start playing the game. Yep, Vaia just skin of their teeth making the fight. Belize good damage output in that one. Again, one shot was determining not really who won that, but at least the tempo of that fight. So Vaia, they're up 1 box in this match already. If they get this one, that's it. They're a higher seed in top 8 for NA. Again, both these teams have already qualified into, well, top 8 for the region, so they're going to be playing on Saturday anyway, but this is proceeding, so you really want to try and play as well as you can, get that match win, get ahead in seeding, have a little bit of an easier time going into grand final.
100%. Have a little bit of that easier time, but you know who won't be having an easy time is Vaia, as KCP apes in for the top down. This is really good pressure as they've shoved Vaia into a locker inside. Winch is not going to quite connect where they need him. KCP, they do get their spawns up to full HP, but Cafaneo around the side, now trying to get that pinch damage in the back, but Belize Circle, they're already down by the time Cafaneo gets in, and that is a full wipe coming through Brendy, hitting every single one of those shots. KCP, they're going to take hold of the Engimo building.
The Brendy 3-piece there. Yeah, I think just good, kind of clean engage. They tried to win. They played around the winch real well. Just not much else to it. The spawn does come out here for Vaia. The game is not over yet. If they get this box, that will be game. So plenty of time to try and get back in there. Cafaneo just going to go ahead and gate his team across from the hotel building. They are spotted, though, and running it through the open here. They have a little bit of room to work with. So they can go ahead and zip up or just try and run across here to get a better position. KCP, not a lot of urgency or need to move from here. Great spot, kind of just to hold the box. Looks like Cafaneo getting squished. Leave that container there. Good damage. Will bring Signal down to half. He's down to 1 bar. He will take down spawns, though. A good trade. This could be what they need to get back into the fight. RPG doesn't connect. It's now down to 1 for Vaia. This is what KCP needs to stay in this match. They are going to secure this box, though. No time for Cafaneo to really make anything happen with 2 up on KCP. We're going to box 3, Artie. Final box, final match.
Box 3, box 3, box 3. I mean, had to end the day on a game like this, right? It has been a very long day for a lot of these players, and for us, it's been a very interesting day to see how stuff is changing, because it feels like every time we come back to Fortune Stadium, teams are playing it different, right? And I feel like that P90 is so punishing, because the maps where it looks good, the fights where it looks good, oh man, it looks like it is going to be the new meta. And you get fights like this, where you're like, why would anybody even think about running this P shooter?
It's got P in the name for a reason. it shoots 90 Ps apiece. It's crazy. With Engage coming back out, Capaneo just dumps some shots into Brendy. Not quite gonna get him down there, but the barrel something killed Brendy somehow. Love to see how that happened. Here comes the Godzip. Godzip goes down. They will take down 2. It's now just up to Capaneo. The big explosion from Llama onto the zip. Llama takes down 3rd. Things you hate to see. Oh boy. Well, this is a lesson in traversal from KCP.
Lesson in physics as well. Gravity. 9.8 meters per second squared. Oh,
It's things that you think, surely they won't take the zip down. Oh, they take the zip down. I hate to see it.
I just love it. It's like stuff that like just makes sense, right? This is stuff that happens in my rank games. Couldn't happen to the pro. It happens to the pros. It happens to the pros every time. I love it. Now, watching this crossover, it's going to be a free crossover to the Holto side, but that Isolt Dorms building is now going to be held out. KCP going to be trying to play this kite game a little bit early. They're not taking this engagement just yet. They're trying to hold off the box, not too far, not too close, waiting to hear footsteps. Those pings are going to go out. They know where the team is hiding, know possibly where this approach is coming from. And Vaia, they've done this before, where they set their light player to make a lot of noise on one side, but then the heavy and the medium, they come out from the other side. And for now, though, KCP, I feel like they've learned at this point. They didn't bite at all. But now, real loudness, real volume coming out just on top of the point. And KCP, they just move down a floor. They're ready for it, no matter what. Hiding over on the sidelines. Vaia, they need to make a move fast, Young.
Yeah, time's ticking right here. They are going to try and do the stick. They're going to write the box down. Goes down a couple floors, actually. The reposition comes up from KCP. I do like what they're doing. The proactivity here. I think if Vaia really want it, they need to go back and restick immediately. That's what they're going to do. But KCP not going to let that happen that easy. The stick comes out. They didn't be able to stop Cardinal. Cardinal going to jump off the boxer. I'm not so sure if they needed to do that. They may have been able to stick it. Perez coming out. Capaneo down to 1. Belize gonna go ahead and take down spawns. It's just Llama on KCP. This could be what Vaia needs. They need to start the steal now, and that's what they're gonna do. Llama, can he get there in time? Winch, I don't think it's on cooldown. Or no, it's on cooldown. That's gonna be Vaia. They get the flip. And Vaia, 2-1. They're gonna take the series by the skin of their teeth.
Wow. Absolutely crazy finish there. This is what I was saying that we needed from Vaia earlier, is that slow timed approach where they really only get that one team fight. And this time around, Vaia made that work well. An incredible show of power from both of these teams here. Again, they're just playing for seeding on this match. So KCP, well, we'll see them again on Saturday, maybe in a slightly less advantageous position on the bracket. But a huge shout out to Vaia for taking that dub. This was the closest game that we've seen all day across both regions. And to see Belize, Signal, and Cafaneo take the dub there,